Hey, this is Dave from Race Coordinator. I just wanted to do another video showing a new feature coming in my into the software. It's in alpha right now, and it will be available in the beta release sometime soon. So it's not technically publicly available. If it's something you're interested in, obviously you can contact me and we can make arrangements. Before I begin the real meat of what I want to talk about, I want to once again give the disclaimer that I am the author of the Race Coordinator software and that I am partnered with Viasue. Viasue provides track hardware interfaces that are 100% plug and play. They are USB based. So take what I say here, take my opinions however you like, with the full knowledge that I am partnered with them. I will point out again that any proceeds I receive from the Viasue track interface sales, just like any proceeds I receive via donation for my Race Coordinator software, I in turn donate 100% to charity. So I have no monetary incentive to sell Viasue product. I just believe it's I just believe it's a great platform. So, take that for what it is at face value. I'm being upfront about it. I don't want to, I firmly believe that Viasue and myself provide one of the best, if not the best, hardware, software platforms for slot car racing. If I didn't, I wouldn't be partnered with them, or I would do something about it. So I take my reputation and I take the quality level of my software very seriously, and so I'm very happy to be partnered with Paul, because I think we have Paul from Viasue, because I believe we have one of the greatest things out there. So, anyways, back to the meat of what I wanted to show you. So, the reason I give you that Viasue disclaimer is because first thing I'm going to do is explain to you real quick again what my track looks like. It is a 3-lane routed track. It's a work in progress. It has some problems, but it's good enough for this demo. Paul and I decided that we would take it and we would do a full blown out build of the thing for hardware, in terms of what you can do with the Race Coordinator software and Paul's track hardware. So what we have 9 track sensors, 3 here, 3 here. This is my start finish line, and 3 here and 3 here. In a previous video we talked about, that's the pit exit line. On top of that, I have 3 heat leader lights up here. Over down there in the distance, I have a LED start tree. I also have under the table 3 per lane relays, and on my driver stations I have individually addressable call buttons. In previous videos I explained that this is my start tree. This is the pit exit line, which enables a car to pit stop in between the 2 sensors rather than having to be directly on top of one of the sensors. You can see that video online as well, but that's not what we want to talk about here. What I haven't talked about in the past is what this extra set of sensors is, and that's what I want to focus on this video. We'll get into the call buttons and the relays and everything else in another video. But for this video, what these 3 sets of sensors are, if you were paying attention to my opening shot, these are the segment timers, or the segment sensors, or speed trap sensors, whatever you want to call them. They will measure time between them and another set of sensors. Now, you can have as many trap sensors as you want. I only have the 3, but you can configure Race Coordinator to consider the start-finish line. These 3 sensors here, you can't see them because the bridge is in the way, but those 3 sensors here are also considered trap sensors. So what Race Coordinator currently is set up and configured to do on my build is to start the timer when you cross the start-finish line here. Let me get a better shot here. Yeah, start the timer when you cross the start-finish line here. It will record and display the time when you cross the segment timers here, and it will restart that timer so that when you recross the start-finish line here again, you will get a second set of segment timers. So you're basically getting 2 segment times, or 2 speed traps for each lap you run. One from the start-finish line to the segment timers, and one from the segment timers to the start-finish line. What you can't see on my track is that the segment timers are about, this segment timer setup here is about halfway around the track from my start-finish line. So what I'm basically speed trapping how long it takes to do the first half of the track, the first half of the track to the second half. When I show it to you, you're going to see the times are wildly. They're not even, and that's because, one, it's not perfect in terms of distance, and it's also, one side of my track is quite easier than the other side in terms of driving difficulty. There's a hairpin turn on one side, there isn't on the other, that kind of thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to set up this camera so that I can drive. I've tried to do this with the camera in my hand and driving, and I just cannot achieve success. So I'm going to try and hope that I can get this thing mounted up, because really what you want to see is this thing being used. So let's see here. I'm sorry about that. Okay, I think we got it. So let's give it a shot. I'm going to start the race. I'm going to call out whenever I cross the start finish line or the speed trap, and you'll see it on the screen. So here we go. Ready? Okay, that's the start finish line, and that's basically my reaction time you see there. Coming around. That's the speed trap. There's your start finish line once again. There's the speed trap. Start finish line. Speed trap. Start finish line. So there you go. So every time it crosses, you got a different segment timer. Obviously, you can use Race Coordinator to do a lot of things in terms of display and whatnot. I'm just simply displaying the last segment time that was received because it was simple. You know, this feature of all the features I'm working on, you know, I'm looking for input on. If people really want this, I'm happy to take advice, take you know, opinions, and maybe change it around or add customization, add configuration, change the way it works, whatever. That's all I have for you for right now. Thanks for watching.